All right, some quick tips for deadlifting. I'm sure I'll think of some more stuff when I have more time to think, but just wanted to get this out quick for somebody. So first thing with deadlifting is keep in mind it's not a full range of motion, so muscular imbalances that you're going to need to compensate for, especially if you love deadlifting and you keep working on it. Also, there's a couple different types of deadlifting. Not only do you have narrow stance or wide sumo stance, but you also have what your end goal is. Are you just deadlifting like for powerlifting, or are you deadlifting for Olympic lifts? Because there's a different form for it, and there's a different setup, but basically the principles are the same when you're all said and done. So first thing I'm going to say is if you're working on deadlifting for the sake of getting stronger, you can just work on from the floor to your knees. And if you want more range of motion, stand up on a box so that you have to start down here and come up to your knees. But from your knees up, everyone generally is really strong anyways. So like doing rack pulls or things where you're starting from your knees and going up is really just training your ego. You're not really going to get any stronger in the deadlift. So focus on from the knees down. No matter what your goal is, that's your weak spot. That's where you're going to get stronger. If you have a problem here at the top with getting your hips driving through at the very top, there's some auxiliary muscles there you need to work on, and also your setup. It's might be a little off. And the last thing you want to do is have any movement from your hips to your spine. Once you grab that bar, you should be able to duct tape a 2x4 from the back of your head to your tailbone and be able to deadlift with perfect form, no problem. If you couldn't do that and you're moving, then something's wrong and you're going to break something. So the setup for deadlifting just for powerlifting is shoulders back, everything tight, and one hand forward, one hand back. That keeps the bar from rolling, so you can grab the strongest. So, and when you grab that bar, and you grab a hold of it, you come up, you drive your heels into the floor, and you push forward, and you drive your hips forward. Even when you're training, always drive those hips forward, no matter how light it is or how heavy it is, because that's going to build the muscle memory. But nothing else should move. You should look like one of those birds that rocks and drinks the water out of the glass, whatever those things are called. So none of this, right? You grab that bar. If you're really tall, you might need to go with a wider stance. But keep in mind the wider stance puts more stress on your SI joints and changes what muscles you are recruiting when you're deadlifting. If you're going for Olympic lifting, your shoulders might need to be a little bit more forward. Your grip is going to be 2 palms back, and you might be really wide. And when you come up, you're not just going to picture driving your heels down into the floor. You're going to picture jumping, and you're going to use your calves. So the weight displacement on your feet is going to be a little bit more towards the front than if you're just powerlifting. And then when you clear your knees, you have to really drive and come up, because you're going to be flicking the bar up, going overhead, doing different things with it, because you're not done once you just come up and push your hips forward. But either way, this setup for it, what I'll do is set up at the bar, walk right up, get where I need to be on the bar, put my arms straight overhead, lock everything in place, bring my arms down to here, and then push my hips back and grab that bar. And then from there, I finish my setup with whatever I'm doing, but my spine never moves. No matter what deadlift I'm doing, once I start my setup, the spine doesn't move. So try those techniques. Set yourself up with a camera watching you, video yourself. If you see any movement, or in the doctor's offices, I literally had a 2x4 with Velcro on it, and I would Velcro the forehead and the low waist, and teach people how to move to protect their low back. So try that. Whatever you got to do, but the spine should not move. It should be braced, whether your shoulders are back or slightly forward. Whatever your setup is, once you're into it, you don't move again. I hope that helps.